guy. I'm here to get into a character analysis of After Hours, which was directed by Martin Scorsese, released in the year 1985. And stars Griffin Dunne as this ordinary Griffin Dunne is this ordinary sort of word processor who embarks on this very surreal, nightmarish odyssey after numerous bizarre coincidences start to add up for him. Which this journey kind of initially seems like he's excited about it, which just contrasts intensely with just all the strange sense of absurdity that he encounters with just all kinds of offbeat characters who trap him into this just completely strange sort of night odyssey, which is just impossible for him to escape. Essentially, every attempt to return home manages to fall in his face as he's pursued by all these characters and just ends up getting wrongly accused of criminal activity. Even his arc is just a very paranoid one, as Dunn is just portrayed as a monotonous sort of office journey, some excitement in his life. So he kind of gets into this very surreal and absurd kind of nightmare, this odyssey, which turns out to be a desperate attempt to get back into the safety of his ordinary life. And Dunn often seems like he kind of has lacked courage through a lot of his life, and perhaps a lot of these events are subtly implying a catalyst for him to acquire a newfound sense of courage to his life. And then Rosanna Arquette's just a very quirky character who lures Dune into this entire, basically the catalyst for setting this entire night into motion. And she's part of this experimental world. She's like this artist. And you can tell she's like there's like a strong 80s aesthetic where she lives with her roommate, Linda Forntillo, it's Arquette's roommate. And they all just have really awkward encounters with Dune all throughout. And Verna Bloom is an artist who lives below a punk rock club who just has a real menacing, violent sort of demeanor, which just adds a lot to Dunn's just intimidation that's faced. Yeah, Tommy Chong and Cheech Martin. Those are just two burglar characters whose actions are mistakenly blamed on Dunn, which just increases his sense of paranoia of being wrongly accused. And then Terry Garr is just this flighty waitress who seems like she's strongly living in the 1960s, which just kind of adds a sense of unreality to this whole process, which is really fascinating to see that from a mid-1980s sort of perspective. You got John Hurd, the bartender, and he's the boyfriend of Arquette, who just gets devastated by this arc, which puts Dunn just further into this nightmare scenario by their encounter. And you have Catherine O'Hara as an ice cream truck driver who initially seems like she has this friendly demeanor until she just flips when she realizes that Dunn is suspicious of thieves. She just has a really bipolar sort of demeanor. And Will Patton's just Lorenzo's boyfriend. She just represents another complication towards Dunn's journey of just trying to get home. Like all these curveballs. It's just fascinating to see how all this adds up for a monotonous sort of energy